organize ourselves internally. Wildlife Research Training College was deliberately given the mandate of doing research. If you look at the Repeal Act, research was emphasized. I know in the TVET Act somehow it disappeared, but we're in negotiation with Ministry of Education to bring back the element of research as a core function of that institution. So, Mr. Principal, I want to emphasize to you that the aspect of research should be well embedded even within the structure, so that you have a competent department, people, the numbers, the resources, the human resource who can, strengthen research in that institution. Also, I want to appeal to Uganda Wildlife Authority to see that research component is adequately embedded within the structure. I know you have some very good laboratories which are put within Queen Elizabeth. Make sure that they stand the test of time and meet the expectations of research. I was with Charles Tumesije when he went to Gorongosa National Park in Mozambique. And you see the level of research which is placed there. You attract professors from university, you attract top-notch researchers, and then they do lots of publications. So I think we should be heading there. So the chairperson, Board of Trustees, Uganda Wildlife Authority, the executive director, Uganda Wildlife Authority, the principal, Uganda Wildlife Research and Training College, members of the academia, scientists, researchers, and conservation partners, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from Honorable Tom Butime, Minister of Tourism, Wildlife, and Antiquities, who is currently in Chamkwanzi and has delegated me to officiate at this function. It is my pleasure to officiate at this inaugural National Biodiversity and Conservation Symposium, jointly organized by our two sister institutions, Uganda Wildlife Authority and Uganda Wildlife Research and Tourism Training College. Dear participants, as human beings, we have a noble duty to protect our environment, especially at this challenging time when the world is witnessing rapid climate change. We now live in an era where the dry season teaches us from an early age how closely human survival is tied to the health of the land around us. Perhaps we all understand in a personal way what it means when water disappears, when grazing land shrinks, and when wildlife communities are forced to exist within the same narrowing space. This is the lived reality behind the theme of this conference, which is biodiversity under threat. Friends, when our biodiversity is under threat, the effects are manifested in various ways. Wild animals, such as elephants, hippopotamus, buffaloes, move further from their traditional ranges in search for water, bringing them into closer contact with farms and homes. We lose many of our rangers as they confront wildlife crime that is increasingly becoming organized, well-financed, and transboundary in nature. Habitat change, species change, diseases become more rampant, extreme situations such as floods, prolonged droughts, and pandemics occur with increasing frequency and intensity. This symposium is therefore timely and provides us with the platform to speak honestly about where our response is working and where it must still grow. As you are aware, the government of Uganda remains fully committed
to speak honestly about where our response is fully committed to promote biodiversity conservation. This commitment is embedded in our National Development Plan, our National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, and our sustained support for science and innovation. Just late last year, Cabinet approved the upgrading of Katonga and Torres Emeleke Wildlife Reserves to national parks. In February this year, His Excellency, the President, directed upgrading of Bugoma Central Forest Reserve to a national park, thereby conferring greater protection on these critical ecosystems. These are concrete steps. However, we know that policy and investment must be guided by evidence. Government has therefore committed additional resources to support researchers and scientists in order to strengthen research and innovation. Research has always been the cornerstone of effective conservation. Every management decision concerning species recovery, introduction and reintroduction, disease surveillance, climate adaptation, and human-wildlife conflict mitigation should be grounded in sound scientific evidence. And this exactly is why this conference matters and why its theme is correctly worded. Science must come first, because without evidence, we are merely guessing. Innovation must follow, because evidence without application changes nothing. Then collaborative response must complete the chain, because no single ministry, no single agency, and certainly no single country can protect biodiversity alone. As we gather here today, I wish to commend all researchers whose work is being presented during this symposium. Your findings are invaluable in guiding policy formulation and improving conservation practices across the country. I'm particularly pleased that this symposium brings together both experienced scientists and young researchers. Building the next generation of conservation scientists is essential if Uganda is to maintain its leadership in biodiversity conservation. I encourage you to use this opportunity to learn, network, contribute fresh ideas towards solving conservation challenges. To the researchers in this room, point out the inconvenient truth if that is what the data shows. Government would rather adjust its policies than protect its pride. To our development and conservation partners, thank you for working with us, not ahead of us, by building capacity and handing over capability rather than simply delivering aid. And to the young Ugandan scientists in this audience, this sector needs you. The future of Ugandan's biodiversity will not be secured by speeches. It will be secured by you in laboratories, in the field, behind camera traps, and at negotiating tables. I now urge Uganda Wildlife Authority and Uganda Wildlife Research and Training College to ensure that the National Biodiversity and Conservation Symposium is organized regularly in order to provide a platform for sharing research findings, tracking progress, and strengthening partnership for wildlife conservation. Once again, I congratulate the organizing committee for the excellent work done in organizing the symposium. I wish all participants fruitful deliberations over the coming days. And finally, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, I now declare the National Biodiversity and Conservation Symposium 2026 officially opened. For God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the words for the minister and of course the director who has represented the Honorable Minister. I also like to inform you that this event, as I speak, it is also live now on Google the TV. So we have 2 television stations right now putting this event out live, or TV, Google the TV. I hope probably by end of the day we'll have NTV and others. And that's what we do in terms of working with colleagues in the media to ensure that we advance conservation so that it gets the space that it requires in the mainstream media. At this moment, we are going to have to break off for now. We are going to have a group photo with the chief guest. There